So hey everybody, Bruce Arians just had to do it again. He turned around and said that thing that makes you just go, wow, really? And this time what he said on why Tom Brady left the Patriots was this, and I quote, "I allow him to be himself. Like New England didn't allow him to coach. I allow him to coach. I just sit back sometimes and watch." You want me to repeat that? Bruce Arians said that New England didn't allow him to coach. In other words, New England coached. He just would sit back and let Tom Brady coach. So let's flip that around. And let's think about that in the context of Jameis Winston's 56-yard touchdown pass off that flea flicker trick play yesterday. All right? That means that Bruce Arians didn't know how to coach Jameis Winston and therefore is openly responsible for the 30 interceptions that he threw by putting him in a system, his system, if you will. And I say if you will because it is a system of plays. It just doesn't work well. That's why I said if you will. But that system, as he designed it, called for you to run 18 yards downfield and cut. It called for you to run deeper patterns and then cut. And, oh, by the way, it didn't matter if the offensive line couldn't block long enough to keep the defenders off Winston or close. All right? So here comes Tom Brady, and as I told you, Tom Brady knew he could not succeed in Arians' offense. He gave it a try, but what happened? He got killed and he threw interceptions. Basically the same thing that happened to Jameis Winston. But hey, guess what? Brady chirped. Arians sat back, and as he said, and he confirms here, he just sometimes watched. Which means basically the people in New England knew what they were doing. They understood, hey, we're not going to have him hold on to the ball long. We're going to design plays that cause him to get rid of the ball quickly and efficiently. They did that to a fare thee well in 2007 when they were running the table. You need to watch film, or video, excuse me, on the plays from that season that the Pats offense ran. That is one of my favorite offenses ever. That design should be time in a bottle, okay? But hey, all that's lost on Arians, who had no problem after saying, hey, admitting what we all knew, that those option routes that take about a year to get used to running and coordinating weren't Jameis Winston's fault in terms of the interceptions that came because they weren't down with the timing on those routes. What I mean by option routes are if the quarterback is covering you inside, you go out. If it's outside, you go in. But the trouble is with the way he designed it, you have to run, 15 yards downfield before you turn in or out. And one wrong turn, as happened to Jameis, when he thinks you're going right and outside to the sidelines and you turn inside, what happens? Picked off, okay? Not a good thing. That happened to Tom Brady, too, this year. Second game with Antonio Brown, Monday Night Football, in the lineup, that happened. Actually, it was against the Saints. Remember that? Awful. So, I feel more sorry for Jameis than I ever have before because you have your former coach spouting off and basically saying, oh, with Tom Brady, I don't have to coach. I can just sit back and watch. Wow. As I think about it, someone needs to ask him about Jameis, because is he saying now that because he coached him, he didn't coach Jameis well? It opens up a lot of questions. Suppose Arians had allowed Jameis Winston to drop his own plays and form an offense more to his liking, rather than what Arians was asking him to do that now he admits he's not even asking Tom Brady to do. That's some bad stuff. All right? That basically just says, hey, you know what? I'm throwing up my hands. I don't know what to do. That's what he just said. Okay? That's what he just said. So does he, it opens up a huge list of questions. I mean, do you know how to analyze the outcome of plays versus what you did earlier in the season versus, against various defenses? What are you doing as head coach? Okay, you're an administrator like Jim Lee Hall, the New York Giants, when he had Tom Landry as defensive coordinator and Vince Lombardi as offensive coordinator. Well, you didn't say that. If you put it that way, well, hey, but if you put it that way, he would have gotten a better Jameis too, because he would have left it to Leftwich or Winston and both of them, like he's doing with Brady and Leftwich now. Wow.